Welcome to the module 4 of the Build for Excellence class. Now you're about to go into a journey that will take you to mastery. Now we're going to be talking about survey in this particular module. It's surveying, land measurement, and site interpretation. Now I'm not a surveyor, but I have someone who is an experienced urban and regional planner that's going to be taking us on this course so that it will be as practical as possible, to be as explanatory as possible, and you also understand everything.
Hello, good day. My name is Afrikcity, and I'll be taking you on module 4 of surveying, land measurement, and site interpretation. Now, at the end of this course, you should be able to understand the technical side of land and plots and land surveys. Also, you should comfortably and confidently explain survey documents whenever you see one. You explain the boundaries and you're going to explain layouts both to your clients and for any other educational content. Now, we're going to start with what land measurements are. Land measurements are standardized units used to describe the size of a piece of land, but the terms and conversion can vary from country and context. Now, what it means is that for Nigeria, we have the way we measure land, and in other places, there are other ways they measure land. Now, a plot is a non-standard unit which is commonly used in real estate. In most of the real estate companies in Nigeria, even in Enugu State, what they sell first is a plot of land. Then individuals can decide to buy more than one, which will now equate to either an acre or an hectare. Now, in Nigeria, one plot of land is usually 450 to 500 square meters, depending on the use. But for most residential use, which is mostly for building houses where family and their loved ones can live, it's mostly 450 square meters or a 500 square meter. Now, an acre is a widely used unit equal to 4,000 square meters. In Nigeria, if you have a plot of land that is going for 500 square meters, you're going to get 6 acres and you're going to get likely 16 to 17 hectares. Now, why this differs is because some development company, real estate development company, they divide their plots based on either 450 square meters, 500 square meters, or at most 550 or 600. But in the part of Enugu where we are, the most is actually 450 or 500 square meters. Now, these measurements are in square meters because they have to show exact, precise, and the residential properties in this building coupled with their building plans. Now, how do we get a 450 square meter? You notice in a building is either a rectangle, mostly a rectangle. Now, this side is called the width, this side is called the length. Now, every residential building or every plot of land rather has these sides. And now when you measure this side and you multiply them, you're going to get either a 450 square meter or you're going to get a 500 square meter. Now, for example, if the width is 30 square meters and this other side is 15 or 16 or 17 square meters, when you multiply the 30 by the 17, that is what will give you the square meters. So when a real estate development company tells you that they are selling their plot of land for 500 square meters, if you check that piece of plot, that piece of land, if you check the plot, you are going to see that this width is going to be from 30 centimeter upward because it is the standard. This is where you're going to have the entrance. So normally your entrance should be getting from 20, 25, 30 square meters because you are going to be observing some standards like setback and other things. I hope you're understanding. Now, like I said, plot size, they vary by sizes. For some residential land use, which is for people that are going to live, we have under this residential land use, we have high density areas. People call it the places where the poor people stay. Then we have the medium density. These are the places for the average families. Then we have the low density, which is the place for the big men, that's the rich people. In places like Centenary City, where you see most of these luxury houses, that is what we call a low density residential, meaning is the places where these rich men they go to get houses, and most of the lands there, most of the plot sizes there are from 500 and 600 square meters, because it can accommodate other facilities for them. You know, some of them, they like having big queues, they like having a good parking area, they like having swimming pool and all of those accessories. So when you go to those places, the plot of land there are mostly 500 and 600 square meter. Now in a situation where a real estate development company sells the land for them that is 400 square meter, you see most of them getting 2 or 3 plots, because that one plot is not enough for them. So that is why you see their spaces are more massive, because they either get more plots or their plot size are above 500 square meters. Now if you go to places like Obiagu and Onu Asata areas, where the plot sizes are for the poor families, you see that the plots of land there are within 350, 300, 400 and 450 square meter. Now this does not mean that you can't see other big houses there. I'm just trying to show you the classification of these houses. Now let's go back to how many plots makes an acre. If a standard plot of size in that entire place is 500 square meters, what that means is that you're going to get an acre of plot is going to give you like 8 plots, 7 to 8 plots to make 1 acre. Now if you have that plot size is 500 square meters, if you want to get an hectare, you're going to get like 20 plots. So in your mind now, what this means is that for a place selling for a plot of land 500 square meter, and somebody asks you how much really get me to buy an acre, what it means is that for that 500 square meter, the person wants like 6 to 7 plots of land. So you divide that money times 7. Now if the person say, I want to do a commercial business and I need like a 1 hectare, you don't need to be looking. You just know that 1 hectare is from 20 plots of land that the person wants to buy. So this is how you differentiate it. If it's a 450 square meter, you now calculate it based on the square meters. Now I hope you understand this issue of land measurement and plot sizes. Now if you do, that means you're going to be very, very much interested in the next topic I'll be telling you, which is reading and interpreting site plans and survey. See you in the next class.